Good afternoon, everyone. You've seen the images. First it was United States. Now it's the UK. Fuel shortages, government says just day before. There's no shortage. Carry on as usual. Now they need troops to deploy as drivers to fill in the gaps. Don't worry, there's still no shortage. There's plenty of fuel at the terminals. Reassuring messages from Downing Street. We can return to normal. Just quit buying so much. European gas storage levels. Yikes. Coming this winter, looking at the GFS model, freezing cold where it dips. Oh, is that right over Central Europe? Yep, that's why they're so concerned. Acid rain blasting the crops across Europe that are going to be harvested. Food supplies are hit globally and forcefully across Europe. But the climate rah-rah squad's all going to meet in Glasgow. Wonder how many private jets are going to fly. Setting a perfect example for us. Why don't they do a virtual summit? Oh yeah, that could be recorded. Weight loss is scientifically proven to be most difficult once we reach middle age. This is because after age 20, our body's metabolism slows down 4% every decade. We experience a 10% drop in our metabolism by the time we're 50. That's the reason why age is so strongly correlated with weight gain. That's why I recommend Adapt with Keto. Thousands of Americans report losing weight, slimmer stomachs, toned muscles, and reduced cravings within days of taking this product. It works in a similar fashion to how the popular keto diet works, which melts fat, tones your muscles, and reduces cravings. Opening another bag, that's why I recommend Adapt with Keto.com. Try it today for 51% off by going to adaptwithketo.com. That's adaptwithketo.com. Or you can click on the link in the description box below. And now on with the video. And the winter of discontent, as it's already being called before winter really sets in. It's more like the autumn leading into winter discontent. Lines everywhere across the UK. Now the official, quote-unquote, numbers of completely dry petrol stations is 37%. But if you look across social media, it's closer to 90%. Even police cars and ambulances cannot get fuel. Telegraph, what a great image with an opposite story. Petrol crisis is going to end within days, but they have these giant lines, and actually they've turned away people now. They just closed the stations. But don't worry, there's plenty of fuel, plenty. Oh, it's all at the refineries and terminals. See, they just can't get it to the discharge points in the petrol stations, gasoline stations, for those of you in the US. UK government, don't worry, plenty of fuel, plenty. Although there's a shortage, but there's still plenty of it. See, this mishmash of words that we're seeing, I mean, how bizarre is this? Cars running out of fuel on the roads, massive theft of fuels everywhere, stations closed, but they have the audacity to come out and say there's plenty of fuel? The day before, transport secretaries out there along with other individuals from the parliament saying, oh, there's no shortages, carry on as usual. Don't panic, buy, there's plenty for everybody. And then what happened the very next day? And what's so interesting is the similarities here that are being implemented globally. Since there's a shortage of drivers, quote unquote, they're going to deploy the military to provide assistance with supply chains. Now, at the same time, apparently they're going to be leaving those troops in the stations to keep order as they deliver the fuel. Don't worry, the UK has strong supplies of fuel. However, we understand supply chain issues at fuel stations, like everyone across the country, but we have assurances from the fuel industry experts. And I love in that last paragraph, they say pressures caused by spikes in localized demand for fuel. That means the entire country, every place, every single petrol station. And you look at some of the tweets coming out of officials and those trying to reassure the public, just like we see this. If you see these reassurance messages, you better think twice. That is a narrative to try to retain calm when it's an out-of-control situation. I can confirm government's reserve tanker fleet will be on the road. Okay, those are the troops driving that. Civilians are also going to be plugged in to help with additional capacity, I guess. And part 2 of this message to the public, the sooner we can all return to our normal buying habits, i.e., don't buy extra because we're out of it and we don't know where we're going to get really more. Plenty of fuel right now, yeah, but what happens when the refineries run all through that, goes into the stations, people buy it, they're back to square one. Unless there's something hidden under the rug over there, not really sure. But if you do that, everything is going to return to normal. Gee, have I heard that before? I guess I have to go back into the Wayback Machine. So to alleviate the situation, this also comes from gov.uk. They're assuring messages to everybody: don't hoard, don't buy extra. The shortage of approximately 100,000 heavy goods vehicle drivers has caused supply chain shortages through the petrol industry, at the refiners as well. There's really a lot there. It's just transport's not working. So transport's just going to instantly start tomorrow. Yeah, if they utilize the military, but what happens after that? Oh, they're going to issue temporary visas for heavy goods vehicles. That means importing labor from other countries. How long is that going to take to get those drivers there? And not only that, the knock-on effects are so deep and so pinballed already through, they call it rippled through the power markets. Yeah, well, it's rippling through the supply chains and rippling through everything. It's a test bed. It is a microcosm test. These tests are going on right now. Australia and now the UK. You can take a look at what's going on in the way that different profiles and testing is being done on a society. Check it out yourself. You know exactly what I mean. But there's so much emphasis right now on energy, lack of energy, energy shortages, natural gas shortages, petrol shortages, everything's short. Why is that? Well, when you look at the GFS model here coming up for the winter 2021-22 forecast, polar vortex going to dip all the way down into Texas and really further south. This is the average here compared to when you're going to see these extremes during the winter. Grand solar minimum is going to knock that probably down into central Mexico, that deep trough. And, you know, the UK is going to be battered by wind and storms and unbelievable amounts of hurricane and gale force winds through the entire winter. You might get a sliver of heat sucked up into Norway. Don't worry, that'll be global warming. But on the backside of that, you are going to see some of the coldest temperatures in 200 years rip through Central Europe. This is why they're terrified of the gas shortages, because the powers that be really understand the intensification phase of the grand solar minimums here. They need the gas. They need it badly. There are shortages everywhere on natural gas at the moment. Why is everybody so concerned about blistering cold winters where people are going to freeze in their homes when we're supposed to be blasting off into unbelievable heated temperatures? I mean, Glasgow, COP26, they're going to fix everything. Just give them some money. And you have to wonder how much of this is about a climate lockdown. If you're going to really cut the carbon footprints, why not do it with a virtual summit? Why do all these supposed leaders of a climate movement need to get on their private jets and go to the same place? Oh, they can record those, is the problem. There can be no backroom conversations on a virtual summit. Battle climate change, fly your private jet. Over to world oil, European gas prices rally. Oops, UK didn't understand the grand solar minimum shutdown and wind flow. During the winter, the velocity is going to be so extreme that they're going to have to turn these off as well. So the wind output at almost nothing. So they're firing back up the gas power plants. But in the winter, they're going to have to shut these off. The blades are going to be moving too fast, and the friction, vibration, cavitation is going to be way off the charts. They're going to shut these down also. That's why everybody's panicked. They finally understand that the summertime is going to be very little wind going into this grand solar minimum intensification for the next 15 years, but the winter is going to have unbelievable winds. So 2 seasons of the year, these windmills are going to be Instagram backdrops. So the European gas storage levels is where it's going to take us into unbelievable record prices well beyond 2008 and 9. And if you remember that great financial crisis, that is going to be dwarfed by what is about to happen this and next winter with gas pricing. If they haven't gotten anything up to stock already, we're seeing panic buy and shortages on the liquid fuels, infighting over pipeline routes and tariffs, transit fees, and it seems like the facade is starting to shatter. And here's another thing. The UK energy firms are already accused of price gouging, and this is going to reel through the economy here as well. They're on a fixed rate system, some people, but so many others are on the variable rate. Think about a variable rate mortgage. Right now you're locked in at 3.2%. When the hyperinflation sets in, that's going to run to 18, 20, 30%. The same exact thing's going to happen with these energy bills. And look at the price caps on this. £1,277. Really? That was October 2021. They're already expecting massive price increases. And then you're looking at fertilizers, natural gas shortages, whatever, CO2 shortages. It is hitting Europe, and the focus is on the UK, of course. But if you're looking at Western EU export prices for ammonia, which is a constituent of fertilizer, things to grow your food, it's right into the agricultural crisis of 2012, but it's going to definitely be eclipsing here the highest prices ever in the great financial crisis. And speaking of food, La Palma eruption sending acid rain over the crops of Europe, right now coming into harvest season. Now, each time there's a major eruption coming off of La Palma, it's going to continue with the same wind flow here, so you can do the analysis yourself once you already see the pattern. Massive eruption La Palma, acid rain over Europe during the last of the maturation and into the harvest season. Now, with that being said, the harvest season is in swing in some places, beginning in others. Staying in the UK, looking for field operatives, field workers, to harvest our broccoli, £30 per hour. So I'm sitting here saying, wait a second. Fuel prices coming out record high, labor prices record high, all the inputs into growing food record high. What do you think is going to happen with your food price? Are you learning how to grow your own foods yet? That should be a main priority for everyone. Because the trifecta of Britain's winter of discontent is not going to stay on the Isles. It is going to spill over to the entire planet, and it already has. This is just a microcosm of what's happening, what's amplifying, and what you can expect coming to a country near you within 3 to 4 months. Lorry driver shortages. We're seeing that here in the U.S. as well. Driver shortages everywhere. Things aren't getting delivered. Ports are stacked up. They can't get container operators. Can't get drivers bringing all the things out of the ports. Gas shortages. We saw the Colonial Pipeline go down here in the U.S., but take a look at the pricing of LNG starting to go up here. CO2 shortages, we haven't had that, but everything food-wise going to the moon. And I knew there was a lot of products that they use CO2, but they also use nitrogen in a lot of packing to stop the ripening process. But if you look strictly at CO2, all the meats, well, you know, so many meat packers are 1/3 staff are completely closed. So you start to get this Rubik's Cube of things going terribly wrong on the planet, and you just have to wonder, is it naturally occurring, or has it been planned in this great reset? Hope you are growing some of your own foods, and if you can't do that, you're going to need some emergency food supplies. My Patriot Supply and Adapt 2030, the 3-month emergency food supply, 25-year shelf life. Give yourself the peace of mind knowing you have storable foods when others may not, and you can ride out the chaos. That link's in the description box below, along with all the links to the images to tonight's story. I do wish you the best of luck. It seems it is crumbling worldwide at the moment. The winter of discontent is going to be a global event. Thanks for watching. Hope you got something out of the video, and I'll see you next time.